You know that moment when your smartphone drops to like 1% battery? The screen dims, apps start lagging, and you just know if you don't plug it in right this second, the whole system is just going to shut down.
Oh, yeah. It is the universal signal for a mandatory reset.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just keep swiping and hope for the best.
Right. And that 1% battery icon is just a perfect mirror for the end of the school year. You've made it to May, but you are completely running on fumes.
Definitely running on fumes.
So, welcome to this deep dive into the May 2026 Jeffco Ed Tech Transformations Digest. We are extracting a custom-tailored summer recharge plan just for you. The mission here is to balance mental rest, inspiration, and some low-stakes learning so you can actually reset for the fall.
Yeah, so you're not just crashing all summer.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. We are looking at reading, listening, and future-proofing your workflow.
Well, before we even glance at a screen or a new app, a true summer recharge really requires resting the mind first. You have to remember why you do this work in the first place. You really have to start with the human element.
Which brings us to a couple of standout resources we found. First is this book called Humans Who Teach by Shamari Reed, and tuning into the Cult of Pedagogy podcast with Jennifer Gonzalez. Oh, and you can totally hit up the Jeffco Public Library for Reed's book.
Yeah, that book is so good. Opening it up is less about just like taking a break and more like recalibrating a compass that's been thrown off by a magnet. It doesn't magically change the terrain, but it definitely stops you from walking in circles.
I love that analogy. But honestly, I hear Pedagogy podcast, and my immediate thought is that we're just thinking about work during our time off. Like if a show dives deep into the psychological and social dynamics of school, how does exploring all that actually heal burnout better than taking a pure vacation from education entirely?
What's fascinating here is the stark difference between simple escapism and true recovery.
Oh, interesting.
Right. Because just checking out entirely, it doesn't fix the underlying friction you face every single day in the classroom. Reed's book looks at how educators have been socialized to just accept the status quo and, the very real fears involved in disrupting it.
So it's about facing those fears head on.
Exactly. By confronting those fears and actively relying on the human capacity to love in order to teach for social justice, you aren't ignoring the exhaustion. You're actually addressing its root cause.
That makes a lot of sense.
Understanding the psychological system you work in builds long-term sustainability rather than just like slapping a short-term bandage on the fatigue.
Okay, so instead of running from the friction, you learn to navigate it. But once we've done that internal work to reconnect with our humanity, how do we actually protect the time needed to exercise it next year?
We have to automate the busy work.
Yes, which means using small pockets of summer downtime to learn tools that eliminate that administrative dread. Specifically, the Gemini Academy for Educators, which was built with IOE, to use Gemini and Notebook LM for lesson planning. Plus, there are all these self-paced Google courses.
Yeah, those are great.
Here's where it gets really interesting. I look at this like meal prepping your lesson plans for the whole year. But I have to push back a little. I hear summer learning and I think, absolutely not, I'm exhausted. Is learning AI over the summer actually going to reduce burnout, or is it just adding another tech chore to the to-do list?
Well, the secret ingredient there is the format. These are strictly bite-sized. I mean, the Google courses are organized into short units taking anywhere from maybe 30 minutes to a couple of hours.
No, that's not bad at all.
Right. And as for the Gemini Academy, it's designed to tackle very specific administrative burdens without requiring a computer science degree. Think about how Gemini functions. You feed it your district standards, and it instantly spits out a month of differentiated reading prompts or rubric templates.
Wow.
Yeah, you're trading 30 minutes of your summer, maybe sitting on the porch with an iced coffee, to learn a tool that will generate hours of saved administrative time come October.
I can definitely get behind sitting on the porch with an iced coffee. But, adopting those new time-saving tools also means clearing out the digital clutter that's no longer serving the ecosystem. Listeners, just a heads up. Effective Tuesday, June 30th, subscriptions for WeVideo and Discovery Education are being sunset.
So if you have projects in there, wrap them up and export them before that deadline.
Definitely.
I know losing familiar tools can be an adjustment, but this decision really comes down to budget reductions and actual usage data. Auditing that data is just a healthy, necessary part of streamlining any workflow. If you don't periodically prune the old software, the ecosystem just becomes completely bloated and overwhelming.
Less clutter means more focus. So there is your custom summer recharge plan. Read to reconnect, listen for trade secrets, and learn AI in bite-sized chunks to protect your future time.
All while making sure to clear out your old projects before June 30th.
Yes, don't forget that deadline. Which leaves us with a final, much bigger question to mull over. If AI tools like Gemini can successfully take over the heavy lifting of administrative tasks and lesson planning, will that finally give educators the mental space to fully embody the humanity of teaching that Shamari Reed writes about?
Freeing up the human to do the deeply human work. I mean, that is the ultimate goal.
It really is. So, as you head into your summer break, don't just stare at that 1% battery icon. Plug in, reset your purpose, and get ready to power back up.